That's what I was about to do. Let's talk about creating a unique value on Facebook gaming. What are you doing that's unique that nobody else is doing? I think, AWOL, you kind of mentioned this before the show. This is going to be probably our biggest push of the year because it's something that as more and more people get into live streaming and content creation, we're noticing that it's also going to be a lot difficult, that the norm is just not going to work anymore. So what suggestions, I guess, rather, would you have about not what people can do that's unique and setting them apart, but how do they even start the process to think about the idea about taking something that's, I guess, slightly unique, maybe someone else is doing it, but making it your own on Facebook gaming so that you stand out compared to your competition?
Okay, well, I have a couple tactical things I want to tell people about, and then I want Perrin to drop some knowledge bombs on you. So number 1 and number 2 things you can do on Facebook gaming are to create ice cold killer titles and ice cold killer thumbnails to stand out. We're not talking about that sort of thing here though. So like, we're already assuming that you guys are working on ice cold killer thumbnails and titles to stand out. What we want to talk about right now is coming up with better concepts for the stream itself. We're talking about, you can't just play a video game anymore and grow. Nobody cares. Perrin, I'll let you say it because you said it on a previous episode, and I thought it was mind-blowing to me. As soon as you said this, I was like, oh my God, this is the big theme for 2021. What happened, dude? It was a big realization.
Yeah, so remember it this way, the novelty of gaming live streaming in 2020 and 2021 has worn off. The novelty is not there anymore. It's not a new thing to live stream video games on the internet. We've been doing this for a decade or more, right? Like, it's easy. There's tons of people trying to do it. It's not
over
new.
10 million. 10 million people are doing it, so it's not unique anymore.
It's not new. It's not unique. It's not innovative. Like it felt like, you know, in early 2000s or 2008 or something like that. Then it was new, exciting. The fact that you could have someone's face on the screen and you can watch them play video games live. It felt new. That feeling is gone. Okay. Because that feeling is gone and there's so much of it still happening, what are you doing that's different than that? What are you doing that's one step elevated from that people can get interested in, right? We talked about Code Miko. We talked about the VTubers last week, how they are innovating in the space and doing something completely unique and taking it to the next level. What are you doing to take it to the next level so that you're doing more than just playing video games live on the internet? Because that's not going to work anymore. That strategy is just plain not going to work unless you're insanely talented at the game, so much so that really you could have gotten famous without streaming. You could have gotten famous in any other way just because you're that good at the game. I really doubt that you are, though, and I doubt that that's the case. So if that's not the case, then what do you have that's setting you apart? Is it your glowing personality? Probably not.
Probably not.
It could be if you enhance that and play to your strengths, right? Or understand your strengths and weaknesses and create new innovative ways of looking at that. I'm not saying you guys have to reinvent the wheel. All you really have to do is take what's out there, copy what's working for those who are innovating, and iterate on it for yourself. Change one thing about something, a new feature. Maybe you're modding your voice and doing different sound effects, and you do something that's uniquely entertaining and funny that matches with your personality and that helps create community. Maybe it's a way that you engage with chat in a new way that people haven't thought of before. You need to be thinking innovative, and you need to be thinking, more importantly, what is setting you apart from everyone else. So if we're going to summarize all of our, growth strategies or growth tips or growth hacks or whatever we have for Facebook gaming today for 2021, they're all about how to set yourself apart. AWOL talked about great titles and thumbnails. I found in my experience on Facebook gaming that the things that matter the most for me to increase my concurrent viewership are having a great thumbnail and having, even more importantly, a unique title. And everybody they think they know how important titles are. They don't realize how important titles are on Facebook gaming. If I have a really good title and I literally spend like hours thinking of it, my stream is off the hook. I'll get maximum concurrent viewers. I get 300 or so, which is my max, if I have a great title. If I have an average title, I will see the results literally in how good just my title is. And that's, by the way, because I have a great thumbnail. I already have my thumbnail nailed down. In fact, I use a thumbnail that looks uniquely different to what everybody else has on Facebook gaming in my category, just like you would on YouTube. Use the same strategy, go down and see, hey, what does everybody else's thumbnail look like? How can I differentiate myself? How can I stand out? How can you stand out with your title? How can you stand out with your thumbnail? And how can you innovate on your content in any other way so that you stand out and keep people entertained? Those are the criteria for 2021 that you're going to need. And yeah, it sounds like a lot, but that's what it's going to take in this space now in order to be competitive. And these can be applied to Facebook gaming. They can also be applied to Twitch. They can be applied to YouTube, but they're going to need to be applied in the gaming live streaming space as a whole, because it's hyper competitive and everyone is still trying to do the strategy from 2005. We're not in 2005 anymore and the novelty is worn off. So what are you doing that is interesting now? Not interesting as it was 10 years ago. You don't want to be that guy.
I have some things to add to that. I think that's
Okay, go
great.
ahead.
Great titles and great thumbnails are awesome, but to go a layer deeper than that, this is something that I've talked to a lot of my Facebook gaming content creators that have hired me for coaching. We have to go even deeper than that. Like, you're just diagnosing the symptoms to the problem of your channel going down or not growing by making better titles and thumbnails. The real reason you're not growing is your stream concept is boring. You're just some guy playing video games at the end of the day. So you can dress it up with a super clickbait title. You can dress it up with a super awesome looking thumbnail that's better than your competitors. And that can give you a bit of an edge for now, for sure. But at the end of the day, is the concept of your stream good? If it's not good, if it's not interesting, then your title and your thumbnail aren't going to do that much work for you. So let me give you some real tangible ideas as a way to kind of spice things up. Write these down. You don't have to do these, but these are the types of things you can do to stand way out from the competitors. You can't just be better than 100 streamers. You need to be better than 10,000 streamers in order to break through now. So here's some ideas. Instead of just doing a regular live stream where you're playing video games, why don't you do a challenge with your community? And if you don't do a certain thing or you don't complete a certain challenge, you have to eat a ghost pepper, or you have to eat hot sauce, or you have to eat a spicy wing. And so now your title and your thumbnail is like spicy wings challenge for this game or ghost pepper challenge for this game. All of a sudden the concept of your stream is now interesting. You're not just some fucking dude playing a video game. Nobody cares. Okay, another idea. Okay, costumes. So other creators have tons and tons of costumes, or they like to dress up, or they like to do cosplay. And so they'll put on a costume while they're playing. And so there'll be Spider-Man while they're playing that day, or there'll be whatever costume they have while they're playing that day. So when people see Spider-Man plays this, or Spider-Man blah, blah, blah on your thumbnail, all of a sudden you're standing out versus all of your competitors. Yet another unique way for you to stand out. Other people on Facebook gaming have created characters or caricatures of themselves to stand out. If you look at Kingslayer, or you look at, I'm forgetting his name right now, Ginge Dad, who's got this like dad with the orange suspenders and orange bow tie, with these unique brands and these unique characters. Dr. Disrespect is another one. Code Miko, we've talked about. Sushi Dragon. These people that create unique characters that stand out, that just isn't a dude playing a video game. That's not good enough. What are you doing that's completely different? A regular person is not good enough anymore. So what are you doing to accentuate the craziest parts of your personality? What are you doing to create a new character and to really stand out? If you're not doing that anymore, nobody cares. If you have the idea in your head of, I'm gonna create a good community, people are just gonna like being around me. No, they aren't. Why are you different than hundreds of thousands of other people? You aren't that likable. Sorry. If you were, you wouldn't be watching the Digital Drop podcast and growing right now, and lack of growth right now. You'd be out there crushing it on Facebook gaming. You're not that likable. So create something interesting about your personality and accentuate that and really break out. Okay? So role-playing costumes, doing crazy challenges, dressing up, coming up with different types of concepts for your stream is the way to go. Letting your viewers decide what happens next in the stream. That's also another way to do it. Also, the viewers give you a certain number of stars and some crazy thing happens with your controls and you have to go from, mouse and keyboard to using a banana, you name it. You have to come up with some crazy stuff to have your stream be interesting anymore. I'm sorry, you can't just, if you want to just play video games and just stream it to people on the internet, then it's a hobby. You're never going to go full time. Sorry. That's the end of the story.